Hey guys, how you doing? It's your girl Lisa, the Melanated Medicine Woman, back at it with another video. Today is Wednesday. I usually do Tarot Tuesdays, but the full moon actually started today, Eastern Standard Time, like around 1:30 something this morning. So I just waited till today to do our Tarot Tuesday video. All right. So in this video, we're going to talk about the current planetary energies and how they might be affecting us and things we can do to support ourselves around this time. All right. So let's talk about some current energies that's going on that I'm sure we can all feel, because again, as we talked about, as above, so below. So right now the full moon is in Pisces. All right. But before we get into talking about Pisces, let's kind of define the full moon and the significance of the full moon. Just for some viewers that might just be like, why does she always talk about the full moon? What does that even mean? And so the full moon is when the sun and the moon are in opposition of each other. And when this happens, the moon appears to be full. It appears to be illuminated. And at this time, what it does is it highlights things in our lives that we can work on, right? Things in our lives that we can let go of, right? Be it, I don't know, habits or thought processes, like that stinking thinking or self-limiting beliefs, certain behaviors, things like that, so the full moon, we start to feel the energies of the full moon, like 2 to 3 days before the full moon, of course, the day of the full moon, and 2 to 3 days after the full moon. So like around that whole week, kind of, it's like we feel the energies. All right. So like 2 weeks ago, the new moon, when we did that reading for the new moon, remember guys, it's about what we can bring into our life, what we can birth. Remember that? So when the new moon is abound, we can't see the new moon, right? That's the time where we plant the seeds of our intentions of what we like to see materialize and manifest and grow, right? And as the moon appears to become full, as it's waxing, that's what is happening with our intentions, right? They're growing, they're manifesting. And then when the full moon comes, like now, it's telling us what we can look at within ourselves that we can truly let go of, what we need to work on. A lot of times we know these things, right? Because we're feeling these energies like, oh my gosh. Sometimes we choose not to acknowledge that we see these things within ourselves, but the universe has a beautiful way of bringing them to our consciousness so we can let go of it, so we can grow and heal from it, right? So right now the moon is in Pisces, and Pisces is a water sign. All right, so the water signs, they have dominion over all the emotions. Okay, so Pisces, I would say, some of my favorite people this lifetime are Pisces. All right. Hi, Mom. All right. So I would say Pisceans, they tend to be of the three water signs of Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. I would say that they're the most emotionally expressive of the three water signs. What I mean by that is, you got Scorpios, right? We talk about, my beloved Scorpios. I find a way to talk about them in almost every one of my videos. But Scorpios, although they feel so intensely, Scorpios tend to be about self-preservation. They don't want people to really, they don't want to be transparent. They're very secretive, right? So they tend to repress their feelings because they don't want other people to see how they're feeling. And when they do that, then comes the secondary emotions, like anger and pettiness and just all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's Scorpio. They don't want to be seen. They don't want their emotions to be seen because they view their emotions as weakness. All right? That's Scorpio. Even though they feel so deeply and they feel so strongly, they want to hide that part of themselves, right? Where Cancers, they feel very deeply too, very emotional sign. However, if we think of the symbol of the Cancer, it's the crab. So they have like a hard outer shell, right? So, but they're very mushy on the inside. They feel very deeply, but again, they're not always as expressive. They might express their emotions. It might come out as different things, right? But Pisceans, the fish, they will cry at the drop of a hat. Yes, they will. And you know it, Pisces. I love you guys, but you guys will. And it's not because they're weak. It's because they feel everything. Pisceans, they're so intuitive and psychic, and it's the last sign of the zodiac. It starts with Aries and goes all the way to Pisces. They feel all the emotions. They're very receptive. They're very intuitive. They're very psychic. They know everything. Please don't ever think you can get over on a Pisces, because they know, they sense, they feel. They're just very psychic. They're very intuitive, to where some people get, they're scared by Pisces, because Pisces, they just tend to know things. They have those spidey senses. They know these things, and it's a strength of theirs, so don't ever mistake a Piscean's kindness for weakness. They will give you the shirt off their back, because they're the most compassionate, loving, giving sign. They're sweethearts. They love very deeply. They give so much of themselves, to where they even become doormats. All right. Are we going to talk about, no, we're not going to talk about all of that right now, but we're just going to talk about the energy of Pisces, right? Pisces is the sign of escapism, of addiction, right? They tend to, when I say escapism, I'm talking about like an addiction. What I mean about that is, because they feel things so deeply, they tend to self-medicate. They can have a propensity. We all have a shadow side, every sign, guys, right? So when it comes to Pisceans, sometimes they might like, to self-medicate in whatever ways. They might, want to feed their feelings by overeating or eating sweets, because the sweetness might be gone from their life. So they try to go outside of themselves to find that sweetness. They might, reality might just be too real, for Pisces, so they might drink or smoke or eat just to escape, right? So this is Piscean energy. Pisces rules the 12th house of the zodiac, which is all about, karma and spirituality and limiting beliefs and stuff like that. Pisces is ruled by the planet Neptune. All right. And Neptune is all about the planet of illusion and mystery and deception. All right. So when we talk about Pisces, like the symbol, it's like two fish, they're tied to each other, and they're going in opposite directions. All right. So this signifies shifting emotional currents. This signifies conflicting desires. It signifies extremes of temperament, right? And that's Pisces. And that's just, but again, Pisces, that dreamy, imaginative energy. Again, don't forget that Neptune rules illusion. My Pisces will know this when I say this. Pisces, they might, because they see and feel everything that's going on, it's a lot, right? So they might look at life through rose-colored glasses, because they see too much. They're really one of the most psychic signs. So it's just so much reality coming at them that they are choosing to see life through rose-colored glasses, which is not really reality, right? But it's okay, because, this is their way of coping, all right? Now, that's Piscean energy. That's the energy, that's the emotional energy that we are swimming in right now, okay? But the sun is in Virgo, okay? So remember last month where, we had, the sun was in Leo, it was Leo season, and it was about fun times and, being jovial and childlike and being silly and playful. It was kind of an intense month too, guys, because remember we had those 5 planets that were retrograde. We had a lot going on. So a lot of us couldn't even really enjoy the Leo month because so many other planetary alignments, you know, kind of jacked that up for us, right? They were like dominant placements or strong placements to where it's like, wow, you know. Anyway, well, right now the sun is in Virgo, and Virgo is actually the opposite sign of Pisces. So where Pisces is the 12th, it rules the 12th house of the natal chart, Virgo rules the 6th house. And that's about responsibilities. It's about tangible goals. It's about productivity. Virgo is the sign of work and self-improvement. They get things done. Like Virgos, they dot every I, they cross every T. They're so reliable and dependable, and they're thorough. Like you can trust and believe that a Virgo is going to get the job done. Okay? So with these two opposite energies going on at the same time, it's like it causes us to look at, we have Pisces over here, which is escapism and dreamy and just being in the world of spirituality and mysticism and kind of like daydreaming and, you know, all that emotional energy, right? And Virgo is about getting things done. It's time for us at this point, right, for us to look at in what areas of our life are we escaping our responsibilities? Are we running from our tasks? It's time to ask, what task are we avoiding, right? How are we actually spending our time right now with this Virgo sun energy and Pisces moon energy? Like, how are we spending our time? When you put those energies together, it's like, what are we doing? Are we spending our time just scrolling through social media? Are we avoiding our responsibilities by like calling out sick from work when we're really not? Are we feeding our feelings? What are we indulging in? What are our addictive behaviors when we should be getting things done? Are we just binging on Netflix? Like, what are we doing, right? So this is a time for us to actually look at ourselves, look at our behaviors, look at what's not serving us, right? So we can heal that. So what we're going to do is we are going to pull some cards, all right? And we're going to pull, we're just going to pull 3 cards, guys. We're going to pull a card for what do we need to let go of? And also the second card is, and how do we do that? Because it's all about tools and interventions, right? You know, what tools do we need to achieve our goal, right? And then the third card is going to be about some just additional guidance on, you know, how we can support ourselves at this time. All right. So let me just, as I do, say a small prayer for the collective, you know. Oh, okay, Spirit, just assist us in a helpful message for the collective on how we can support ourselves right now at this time. All right. I give thanks. And so it is. All right. Ooh, all right. So again, you guys will see I'm in my bedroom because my babe is working from home. So I'm in the bedroom. All right. But that's fine. I didn't want to wait until later in the day because I have some things to do. I'm taking the day off. I'm taking the week off. I'm on vacation right now as I'm about to step into a whole new position at my job. So I'm just kind of orienting myself and getting my mind right for this huge promotion and transition into what is next for me. All right. So again, what do we need to let go of? How can we do that? And some additional guidance. All right, here we go. What do we need to let go of? Right now, Spirit, please assist me. Well, actually assist the collective in in a card and a message of, what we need to let go of right now. Okay. Oops. Wait. Oh, sorry guys. Just give me a sec. Because they all just fell out. So I just need to pick them up. So again, what we need to let go of. Okay. And if I'm getting that this is not the most appropriate deck at this time, I'm going to pull from a different deck. All right. All right. So what we can let go of, guys, we have the 6 of Cups. All right. So the Six of Cups, when the Six of Cups comes up, this card is about, okay, so it's the cup sign, right? So the cups is about emotions. You know, it's about our feelings. And this is appropriate, for, you know, to jump out at this time. So when the Six of Cups comes up, as far as what do we need to let go of, it's about living in the past. You see how this gentleman is sitting with his dog, but he's kind of nostalgic of, you know, when he was a young man, well, he was a little boy and the dog was small. So a lot of times, you know, so what spirit is guiding us to do at this time, guys, is to be in the present moment. And this message has come up for us before, right? So what we need to do is we need to like let go of always looking in the past. You know, a lot of us, we can become nostalgic, you know, like things were better in the past, or it can go in that other direction to where this was done to me, or you just cannot let go of the past. And that prevents you from living in this present moment, because that's the surefire way of not being able to manifest what you want in life, is when you harp on the past. You know, so and so did this to me, and blaming other people. And that's very Piscean energy, okay, is being the victim, right? Again, no shade. Astrology is just what it is, okay? So blame shifting, and giving up your control by not taking ownership of something like that could have happened in the past. And a lot of things that happened in the past was beyond our control, right? But what we can control is how we can respond to it, and how we can move forward, okay? Because the trauma and the abuse that we've endured, it's not our fault, but it is our responsibility to heal it. You know, so this gentleman, you know, he needs to come back and just appreciate, because he might be thinking like, oh my gosh, something might be going on with the dog or him or whatever, or maybe not. He could have been thinking about, oh my gosh, times were so much better then, you know, but it's okay. We have to shift our focus to realize that right now, you know, in 2020, we actually need 2020 vision, all right, to see the benefits of what's going on right now, okay? Because once we shift our perception of how we're looking at our life, then different things will unfold for us. We need to, again, you know, have 2020 vision in the year of 2020, because we need to choose to see the positive. You know, that's our responsibility, is our perception of how we choose to see things. All right. So we need to focus and be present in the present. All right. As opposed to always looking back and, you know, with regret or just nostalgia. It's always good to, you know, to look in the rearview mirror, right, when you're driving. But if you stay there and not look ahead of you, then you'll crash. Okay, so that needs to be, you know, intermittent and short-lived, you know, when you're kind of going in the past, because you want to continue going forward, right, guys? So that's one thing that we can let go of, is always like, or having that tendency to be in the past, you know, like leave the past in the past, and, you know, like, let's just keep it moving. Let's heal what we need to heal right now, because again, the past and the future, you know, those are illusions. They don't exist. All that exists is the now, right, guys? All right. So with that said, that's what we need to let go of, okay? So interventions and tools, right? That's what we're talking about right now. How can we let go of always, or the tendency of living in the past, of what was done to us, or how things, you know, were unfair, or how things were even better than now. And it's easy to do, because 2020 is a whole mess right now, right, guys? But how can we find the jewel and the medicine in it? How can we find that? How can we look at the positive of this pandemic, or you know what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm saying. So anyway, let's see. How can we let go of dwelling, right? How can we let go of dwelling in the past? All right. And again, guys, tarot is just a tool for self-development, right? It's a beautiful thing, you know, because you're just actually calling on the energies of the collective consciousness to assist you in what we already know. Like, we already know this stuff, guys, right? It's just a reminder. These are just cards, you know? Okay, so how can we, you know, let go of things? How can we let go of, you know, just being in the past, and how can we let go of that? How can we let go of self-limiting beliefs? How can we let go of those things that no longer serve us, right? That's being illuminated right now by this full moon in Pisces. So we have Pisces to thank. We're not victims, right? We are the co-creators of our destiny. So how can we, let go of oopsies? All right. Okay, let me pick up some cards because some cards fell. Okay. And so this is the High Priestess, guys. The High Priestess fell out. I like the jumper cards because I feel like that's when Spirit's like, it's this one. It's this card. This card is the one. So the High Priestess card is the second card of the tarot, right? And so the High Priestess, you see all these spiritual downloads that she is being receptive to. The High Priestess, she speaks of inaction. She speaks of being intuitive. She speaks of listening, meditation. She knows things, right? So the High Priestess, the medicine here, the guidance here of how we can let go of things is to sit and just be. A lot of times we in this culture in the United States, unlike in Asia or other cultures where it's what's that saying? Don't just sit there, do something, right? That's our way of handling things, of getting things done, about being productive, right? But in other cultures, they have that saying where it's kind of opposite, instead of don't just sit there, do something, it's don't do something, just sit there so you can be receptive, so you can receive. Just quiet your mind. Remember in a previous video, we talked about how praying was when you talk to the Most High or that which you believe in, but meditating is listening to the answers and the guidance. So guys, we know better. Like we already know how to support ourselves in this time, like what we need to let go of. We already know these things. If we would just quiet our minds and listen, those answers will come to us, because my answer, what would work for me, might not work best for you. We all have our own different blueprints. We all have our different agreements that we agreed to when we chose to incarnate this lifetime, right? But just sitting there and listening to the guidance of what we can do would be most helpful at this time, all right? So the High Priestess, she comes when it's time to just, have a seat, sit down somewhere, calm down, and listen to your own inner knowing, because we are the experts of our own lives, right, guys? Okay, and any additional information from the universe as to how we can, any additional information, right? Okay, and this is the Strength card. The Strength card is about, in the original Rider-Waite deck, you see a woman taming a lion. You see a woman, taming this lion easily, just easily, because she's not doing it with brute force. She's doing it out of compassion, right? So the key word, one of the key words when you look at Pisces, it's compassion. It's about being compassionate. They're one of the most compassionate signs. And this is the Strength card, right? So this is about, the Strength card speaks to not just strength by brute force. I said like that just a minute ago. Anyway, it's about being able to master the lower selves of yourself, right? Mastering those lower emotions, mastering those behaviors and those instinctual behaviors that don't serve you. So this is having the strength and the compassion to heal those things within yourself with patience and with compassion. A lot of times when I expect a lot from myself, right? So, and I know a lot of us do. And so sometimes when I'm being hard on myself, or I speak to myself, or that internal critic is so loud, I think to myself, if this was my son or my daughter's issue, how would I be guiding them? And what type of advice, and how would I be speaking to them, right? And then I realize I need to shift my language, my internal language, to how I would speak to my inner girl, my little girl. I would speak with more compassion. I would be less judgmental. I would say, you know, it's okay. You're doing your best. It's okay. And that's how we need to talk to ourselves, guys. You know, so we need to, there's some forgiveness work that I'm sure we need to do. But this additional guidance that is coming after the Six of Cups and after the High Priestess is basically saying, you know, to honor the shadow within ourselves, you know, the part of ourselves that we're not so proud of, right? That still need to be healed, but address that part of ourselves with compassion and patience, and just know that it doesn't always have to happen. It never has to happen overnight. It's a gradual process of forgiveness, right? Forgiving ourselves, forgiving other people. And it is, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So just be patient with the way we are handling ourselves at this time, because it's a very emotional time. And a lot of us might be feeling weighed down or bogged down. And if we are, it's because we're out of alignment. It's that contrast, right? It's knowing what's best for us, but not being disciplined enough to actually work on that. That's that Pisces and Virgo, right? Knowing better, knowing what we need to do, but just not being disciplined enough to take those steps to actually get those desired results that we really would like to see. All right. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next week or in 2 weeks. I'm thinking about doing Tarot Tuesdays just on the new moon and the full moon. All right. So anyway, I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.